Divorce is a process that affects not just a couple, but their children and other family members. And when filing for a divorce, depending on the situation, it can either be quite messy or very simple. To break down the legal process for us on today's Action Line Law Week segment, we're joined by attorneys Erin Kobayashi and Catherine Lukela, and they're here to tell us basically all of the frequently asked questions, get the answers to those. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Of course, so happy to have you guys. And again, people are going to be able to call in throughout the morning as well to get any answers on this topic if they'd like. But I have to know, first question is, how can parties resolve their divorce without going to court? Is that even possible?
Absolutely, Kelly. And ideally, the parties will reach an agreement that resolves all issues in their divorce case. Now, an agreement can be reached at any time during the divorce process, even before the divorce case is actually formally initiated. Now, once an agreement is reached, the parties can then submit the necessary forms to the family court to facilitate their divorce. And again, that's all without ever stepping foot in the courtroom. Now, the judiciary website is a very user-friendly and it has a wealth of information to the public. Now, it also provides a checklist and instructions to the public on how they can go through the process of the divorce and submitting the necessary paperwork.
Okay. And then do you want to add to that as well?
Absolutely. If parties need help reaching an agreement, there are a number of resources and processes that the parties can explore to help them reach an agreement. One of them is mediation. The court encourages mediation. Mediation is an informal, confidential process by the use of a third-party, neutral, disinterested person to help the parties reach agreements. Parties can either pay for a mediator or they can go to the Mediation Center of the Pacific, where there are trained, experienced people in the areas of family law to help them. Now, mediation can either occur with one session or there can be multiple sessions. It all depends on the type of case.
Yeah, and depends on, how long it's going to take to reach the agreement.
Absolutely.
And mediators are so amazing because, especially in a case like this, emotions are running high, and, it really helps to be able to break it down, have a third party who's not involved. Okay, can I ask, what is Kids First?
Oh, great question, Kelly. Kids First is a great resource put on by the Hawaii State Judiciary. It's a mandatory one-time program for families who are going through or involved in a divorce or paternity case. Now, one of the goals of Kids First is to educate families who are separating, going through a divorce, about that impact that process can have on children. Cases are assigned, class dates are assigned once a divorce or paternity case has been initiated. And classes are held every Wednesday, either in the Honolulu location or in the Kapolei location.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. And how long does this entire process usually take, divorce?
Kelly, that is by far the #1 question that Erin and I get.
I can imagine.
And it depends. That answer is, it really honestly depends. The initial document that starts a divorce case is the complaint for divorce. The document that completes a divorce case is the divorce decree. A divorce decree can be entered either by agreement of the parties or further order of a court. A divorce decree is not official until it is signed by a judge and filed by the court. The official divorce date is the filing of the divorce decree. Now, how long this process takes? It depends, again, on how quickly the parties can reach any agreements, if any.
Okay, good to know. And then we're talking family court, because I think typically when we think about family court, we think divorce, but what other cases does family court cover?
Well, and you're true. Typically, when people think of family court, it is divorce cases. But there are a multitude of other types of cases that are heard at family court. Now, on Oahu, family court is divided into three different divisions. The first is the domestic division, second we call the special division, and third is called the juvenile division.
Family court in the state of Hawaii is a place of miracles and many great things happen. Domestic division judges hear mainly divorce cases. Special division judges hear temporary restraining order cases, paternities, guardianships, adoptions, as well as some mental health hospitalization cases. Juvenile judges hear juvenile law violator cases and cases involving child welfare services. Now, as we discussed, family family court in the state of Hawaii is extremely user-friendly. Not only are there checklists and packets prepared for the public to help them with divorce cases, but there are also self-help packets with regard to paternity cases, adoptions, guardianships, and we strongly encourage the public to check this resource out.
Okay, definitely. And if you have any questions on any of those topics, again, that any of that family court will cover, you can call in today. It's our Action Line Law Week. This is going to run through May 4th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can call on this topic today. The number 591-0222. And again, any question that you want answered, they're the pros. They know how to help you out. So make sure you call in. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Happy to have you guys.